Hello there, everybody! This is shadowgear65 here, doing a review of the Perfect Effect Combiner Wars Bruticus add-on hands and feet. And this is what really sold this entire set for me, getting these things. Now, these are not officially licensed by Hasbro, these are third-party products. Perfect Effect, along with many other companies, make third-party products for Transformers that are either add-ons for existing Transformers or just straight-up new figures. And this is my first third-party toy that I've ever picked up because I loved Bruticus so much and I wanted to make him better, so I bought these hands and feet, and I was not disappointed. So, the thing is with these feet and hands is that this is the foot for the combiner itself. It's really big, it's really bulky, but there are guns on the back because these hands and feet transform into weapons for the individual figures, which is super cool. The foot disassembles and transforms into this giant, which was originally a Gatling gun for the other hands and feet. This one's just a giant blaster cannon thing, and it looks super cool. I like the way it looks. It's nice adding these on to like Brawl or adding them on to Onslaught and having these giant cannons. And then the fist turns into this little handgun, which it's better for like, you know, this is a really cool weapon to have for like Vortex or Blast Off, because, you know, it's more of a handgun that they can use. And I think like these aren't afterthoughts. Like, these are definitely designed with the like, it made me feel better buying hands and feet for $30 when I knew they could transform into something else I can play with. I mean, that's a nice bonus. And by themselves, I mean, like, this makes a really good foot, which we'll see in a second. And this hand, I like this hand a lot. I think it's super cool. If I had one major complaint, and it's more or less a nitpick, I wish that the knuckles were ball jointed as opposed to just having the hinges. But it's okay. Like, this makes a really cool looking hand. I can make a nice pointing finger. You can have them like flip off dudes, all you'd like. I mean, it totally works as a nice looking hand, and it's really cool. If I had at least one major complaint with this set, which we'll see in a sec, is that the color of silver they choose for these hands and feet don't match up with the silver on Onslaught and Bruticus. So we'll see that in a second. So I'm going to put these on Bruticus and alter Bruticus's torso with a little mod that I used with Lego pieces. So this little mod requires a couple Technic pieces as opposed to Lego, my apologies. And it's a way to connect the hand-foot gun to the crotch piece to make the torso a little more bulked out. I mean, it looks like a cannon penis if you want to look at it that way, but I think it's like a nice bit of armor you can add to the front a little bit. And the way I did it is that I took these pieces here, which are two little Technic kind of connector bits, and then used two blue pin and axle pieces. And then what I do is that I lift this up a bit, wedge these in here, which my hand was not covering that, but it unfortunately is. Wedge these pieces in here. And once you do that, you close that up, and that will more or less lock those in. And then you can take the hand-foot gun and then take this kind of 1x3... Whoa! Take this 1x3 piece here and then kind of put this into the port. This will add a lot of stress to the Lego piece, but it's a tight connection. It's not gonna fall out or anything. And then, you know, just like Technic, you just slot this in. And then you can put the thumb away or not put the thumb away, whatever's up to you. And then just take this whole assembly and just put this right here between the legs. And then that bulks out the crotch a little bit, and that looks a little bit better to me. So, okay, moving on! And here is Combiner Wars Bruticus with the modified torso configuration and the Perfect Effect hands and feet. Good God, this is night and day to me, looking at this thing, compared to the stock Hasbro configuration. And I know I'm super zoomed out at the moment, so you can get a better look at this guy. But I have him zoomed out so we can do some size comparisons. Here he is compared to a water bottle. Here he is compared to my phone. Here he is compared to a soda can. I don't have a lot on my desk, which is the truth and also a lie. But yeah, this looks incredible looking at this configuration. The bigger feet are definitely a boon. Like probably the biggest boon for me out of all of this. And the ball joints on these feet are good too. I know previous versions didn't necessarily have the best ball joint friction, but these ones are pretty good. Again, as I mentioned, the color of silver doesn't match up with the silver on the chest piece. I wish it did, but it's okay that it doesn't. I mean, I'm not heartbroken over it, but it would have been something nice. Also, I will say these hands they look good. I generally just keep them in a fist. Sometimes I pose them pointing, sometimes I point them just kind of looking down. Sometimes I kind of point them like up, like one like a Gurren Lagann, like point to the heavens type of pose. Like it totally depends. Just the hands and feet are good, and this configuration, I don't know who to credit for the configuration. I think it may be Perfect Effect themselves who created this, but it's a way to take the shoulder pads, take the shoulders here, and kind of swivel them back 90 degrees, and then take the guns out of the black piece in the back that would be like the little tiny backpack, and then put the hands and feet from the original toys and use them to bulk out the abdomen here, which it doesn't fix my problem of, well, it doesn't fix the problem of making the torso longer. It doesn't do that, but it tricks you a little bit because you can angle the shoulders now to go a little bit more up, making the arms a little bit shorter down here, so they're kind of more in proportion to the rest of the body, or at least it looks like it does. So, and that also bulks it out. Again, having my little mod here of like taking this piece and just kind of elongating it so it doesn't look like his legs look super awkward. Like it kind of just turns the torso into a block that it has like these nice implied proportions, and then you add the limbs with the feet, and it looks super good. I love the way it looks a lot. This ringtone never escapes me. But yeah, but if you zoom out and you take a look at them, like if you had one major complaint about this thing, it's like, oh, the head looks really small. And like, it does. The head looks super friggin' tiny. But you know what, like, for a big bruiser looking guy, like, I don't mind the head. Perfect Effect they are coming out with a set, actually I think it may already be out, of a new head as well as new back guns and an adapter for Shockwave. So, because you can't hold Combiner Wars Shockwave in these hands all that well. You kind of have to friction them and kind of balance them in there. I would pick that set up, but it's $30 for just a head and guns, and I think that's BS. And also, the head is silver. And I like the black head so much more because there are bits of black all over the limbs. And the only bit of black that's on Onslaught, or rather the Bruticus torso, are the wheels and the head. Like, there's a balance there to me that I can enjoy. And you know what? Like, I certainly get I've heard these complaints from some friends of mine, and they were like, oh, I don't like the mismatched colors. I think it looks really weird. I think it's a cool way, like, yeah, it's bothersome, but like I'm the kind of guy that grew up with Power Rangers. I grew up with, I'm still a fan of Sentai. So having mixed-matched colors from different things combining into one thing, it does not bother me. And in fact, I think it's a cool way to unify a bunch of different powers into one. Like, I like the way that works. But yeah, I don't mind the black head. I think it looks totally fine. It's a little small, but for the type of character Bruticus is, I think it's totally okay. I fucking love this guy. And once I finally got all these pieces in, and I finally got this figure as you see it now, I was looking at him like, man, you know what? This was all worth it. I friggin' love the way this dude looks, and I will not put him away for a very long time because I think he looks super, super cool. So yeah, that's enough of me jerking off about Bruticus. So yeah. Thank you for sticking with me with these reviews. I think Bruticus is totally worth it with the Perfect Effect add-ons. In fact, most of their add-ons for the other combiners are kind of cool. I did pick one up for Superion, for G2 Superion, which I'll review maybe. I don't know if people are interested. I'll review G2 Superion. But, yeah, Bruticus is rad, and I love him a lot. Probably one of my favorite toys, if not my favorite toy in, like, the past year. So, hooray! This has been ShadowGear 6335, and I hope you all have a good day. Bye-bye.